Welcome back to the second segment here of Veterans Did You Know? Dave Ewing with the County Department of Veterans Affairs, and my special guest today is Derik Van Baale, who is a therapist, a mental health counselor, a father figure, a confessor of all points for veterans and stuff. And Derik is kind of unique, and we were just talking in a little break there, is the VA itself, the VA system, we have a VA medical clinic here, so called a CBOC, Community-Based Outpatient Clinic, and we have a psychiatrist assigned, and we have a mental health counselor. And for many vets who try to access the VA, quite frankly, it can be just really frustrating. It's many times it's not user-friendly. There's supposed to be this seamless transition of you getting out of the military and getting into the VA with your medical records and everything being transferred, and some plan in Washington thought that up, and in reality on the field half the time it doesn't work, and vets can get turned off pretty easily. You just walk away from it and say forget it. But Derik's program is totally different. I think you have the magic ticket, the Willy Wonka golden ticket, is your DD-214 or your discharge papers that says you're stationed in Iraq, Afghanistan, or combat related, you're stationed in a war zone. And that is just streamlined. So if I got one of those magic tickets and I'm getting frustrated and I get your card and give you a call, what's going to happen?
What happens is we get your DD-214, verify that you served in combat, not just Iraq and Afghanistan. We see all Panama, Grenada, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Vietnam, Korea, and we even still work with some of the World War II guys that are still around.
I don't think people realize that it's not just these current vets, and we're not just. Well, I think we're in 40 different countries right now, but the older vets are coming
Absolutely.
back in and have never ever in their entire lives addressed it, and they're still having problems. So,
and they're still having problems.
So
and
any veteran.
Any veteran. And as a matter of fact, right now the biggest population that we are still serving is a Vietnam era veteran. And that's for obvious reasons. As they start to gravitate towards retirement now that they're getting up there a little bit, they're having some readjustment issues, and they can come in and talk to us about that. It's not exclusively related to traumatic experiences in the military. It can be anything from marital problems to some depression, some how do I get along better with my friends and relatives, to okay, I've been working for 40 years trying to put this stuff out of my mind. I'm retired now. What is the rest of my life going to look like? We deal with those issues pretty consistently and pretty common. But as Dave just mentioned, to get in to see us is very simple and very easy. You come in with your DD-214, and more likely than not, we'll get you in the same week or very shortly thereafter. If those of you that have gone through the VA clinic, they do some things very well, and they do some things that they could improve on. And getting in and getting access to care when you're going through some mental anguish is very important. And that's one thing that we do, and we pride ourselves on. There's no wait list. There's no, we'll see you in 6 weeks. We get you into a therapist and we get the ball rolling. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to come in and ask for help, and we acknowledge that, and we try to make sure we see people in a very timely fashion.
And I think that's a tremendous point, because a lot of times, especially in a mental health issue, when you've made your mind up for whatever reason to reach out for that help, the last thing you want to hear is, we'll see you in about 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever else, because the window is very small for that mental health patient to say, okay, I can't control this anymore, I really need it, and then all they hear is, well, we can't get you here from now. So you've lost that opportunity of really getting the person in. And as my desk here, I get a lot of vets come in and for all kinds of issues, and it allows me to funnel them where they need to go. And a lot of times it's the spouse. The spouse will say, that's it. This is the last straw. If you don't get help and get it now, we're done. And so the vet says, okay, let's do this. Then they come in and thinking, well, when am I going to get the help? And that's the critical point, is being able to access it right now and sit down and talk a lot about it, and maybe save that marriage and save some domestic violence or save whatever's going on, because you can't do it by yourselves. I don't care how tough you think you are or what training you had in the military or what's going on. There's tougher people than you by a long shot that have some real mental health problems that came with the territory of doing what you did and trying to readjust when you got back, and you can't do it by yourself. I don't care who you think you are. And that's really a cool point that you made with the older, you're a gentleman, what the older guys, you said something, not older guys, but us old regular guys. And it is, I've met a lot of Vietnam vets who are now retired, 62, 65, whatever else, and they got time on their hands. Before they were working hard in the shop, keeping themselves busy, whatever else, now all of a sudden they're retired, and they're sitting back and they're starting dwelling on things, and so the mind has been, holding this in check, and all of a sudden all the boundaries are off, and all the stuff starts coming back up again. Or especially run into a kid or a younger person coming back from Afghanistan, and they hear what's going on with them. You say, well, man, I was there 35 years ago. And he's going, or she's going through the exact same thing, and I never even adjusted what I went through as that was going to happen to them when they're my age. And I think that your support group is cool, because you have from Vietnam, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all the way up to Iraqi vets. And the younger kids can kind of look at us older guys and say, man, if I don't get a handle on this now, I'm going to be in my 60s and still dealing with this, or still controlling my life or ruining my life. So I think that's the important thing, is another vet reaching out. And all of us know somebody. Every one of us there in the military know a vet that should be in speaking to somebody, but just won't do it because I think a lot of times it's not user-friendly. Not user-friendly. So you got to get in, you got to do what you got to do. Take a break. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.